I guess you love movies. I do too. Hi guys, and welcome back to another classic movie review. And today, we're going to talk about a movie that I have talked about recently on a few of my other videos. I did a video series, 2 videos, about directors I wanted to check out. One of those being Otto Preminger, a quite important director of the sort of 1950s and 40s, and was quite an experimental director with different subject matters. And one of the movies that I said that I wanted to see was his film The Man with the Golden Arm, starring Frank Sinatra. And as you can see from the background, I have it on DVD, and it is a review of that movie here for you guys today. So, I was looking forward to watching this movie. I've heard good things about it. It's one of those sort of underground classics where it's sort of built up its fans over time. It's definitely a movie that was very controversial for its time period, and a very controversial subject matter even for today. This movie is about a junkie, a heroin addict, played by Frank Sinatra, who's just come out of jail. In jail for 5 years, and he's just come out to his crippled wife, and the junkie, the sharks around him, that are trying to get him back into dealing. This isn't dealing drugs, this is dealing cards in a sort of crooked card game. And the person that used to sell him drugs is circling him like a shark, trying to get him to buy drugs from him, and it's his inner struggle trying to stop himself from getting back on heroin and becoming a junkie once again. He's become clean in jail, he wants to be a better person, he wants to be a drummer, he wants to be a musician, and it's his fight to try and make that happen, and fight the demons within himself. And I really enjoyed this movie, and it wasn't helped by this DVD right here, because do not buy the signature DVD version of The Man with the Golden Arm. It's a horrific transfer. It's one of the worst DVDs I've ever seen. It's crackly, it's got lines all through it, it pulses, it's like really annoying. But I managed to get through that, I managed to watch the movie, and I managed to very much enjoy it as well. So, the first thing that I really loved about this movie, and it's the thing I expected to, and it was Frank Sinatra. This guy gives an absolutely fantastic performance in this movie, okay? I was expecting a good performance, and he was so good, and I can see why he wanted to be taken more seriously as an actor and not just a musical guy who could sing and dance and do all that stuff, but that could also act, like, really well, and he is fantastic in this movie. He wanted the role for On the Waterfront in 1954. He wanted to be taken more seriously as an actor, and this is one of the roles he took in order to show his qualities, and he definitely shows his qualities in this movie. He gives a fantastic layered performance, he's charismatic, as usual, but he shows so much vulnerability and depth to his character. You know, we see a guy crying on screen, we see a guy that really, he needs these drugs, he's so completely hooked on heroin, and how it completely controls his entire life. And I think it's really one of the first films to really show how debilitating drug addiction can really be. Another person that I thought was fantastic in this movie is Kim Novak, who obviously many know for her performance in Vertigo, but she is excellent here. She gives probably the best performance alongside Sinatra in this film. I really enjoy her performance, their relationship, and how Frank Sinatra's wife in the movie, played by, Eleanor Parker, pretty much breaks up, is the sort of wedge between them, and how her performance is probably the weakest out of the 3, I would say. She's a little hysterical and a little overacting at times, a bit of overacting at times. She gives a pretty good performance, but their relationship is very interesting, this whole dynamic between the 3 of them, and how he's trying to sort of get out of this marriage, but because of his wife's disability, he feels guilty because he was the one that was driving the car that caused her to have this problem, and he feels like he's trapped in this relationship, just like he is with his drugs, with his drug abuse, and with his addiction. He's trapped. He can't get out. He can't get away from it. It's always there in the back of his mind. And I really enjoyed this sort of psychological study of this this addiction and his domestic situation at the same time. Also, Preminger and his cinematographer in this movie use the camera in really interesting ways. They move the camera through things, and it's got great flow to it. It's a very interestingly directed movie. It's got a lot of flair, and I really enjoyed that part of the movie as well. It's a pretty good looking movie, and probably would have looked better if it was on a Blu-ray or just a DVD that didn't look like it was just, ran through a bush. It was just it was a horrible transfer, and I wish I could have seen this movie on a better sort of scale, and a better sort of clean transfer on Blu-ray or on a better DVD. I did enjoy this movie. It's not going to blow you away. It's not sort of unconventional by today's standards. We've seen this story told many times since then, but this is a very important movie for setting the sort of the precedent for this type of film. This wasn't really, it's like The Lost Weekend with Ray Millard for alcoholism. This is a similar sort of thing for drugs, and how debilitating they really are, and showing, how they can destroy a person, and this is a very important movie for that. It's probably not a movie I'm going to watch too many times. I really enjoyed it specifically for its performances, and for some of the flair that Preminger has as a director in this movie. But I wouldn't say it's groundbreaking or anything incredible, but I really enjoyed the performances in the movie overall, and I am going to give The Man with the Golden Arm an 8.5 out of 10. So there you go, there's my review of The Man with the Golden Arm. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, like, subscribe, drop your comments down in the section below. Have you seen this movie? If you have, what did you think of it? I enjoyed it. I think it's probably dated a little bit now because of the other films that have been made, something like Requiem for a Dream, that have shown the even more brutal side of drug abuse. This is kind of the first start in Hollywood to show the awful situation that drugs can bring a person to. But I did enjoy this movie. Is there any other Otto Preminger movies I should be seeing? I'm pretty sure I want to check out Anatomy of a Murder and Laura. If there's any more that you think I should check out, definitely drop them down in the comment section below. And hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Goodbye.